I will call the order to meeting of the July 9th, 2026 Neighborhood Board 5 meeting. And with that, I will ask Curtis to give us a roll call.
Thank you. Allen.
Here.
Hasina.
Here.
Knight.
Here.
Matson is present. Miranda. Absent. Murchie. Absent. Rosman. Absent. St. Dennis.
Here.
Velasco. Wasden. Absent. Witherwax. Witherwax. Absent. Bruce Wong. Kendrick Wong. Absent. Linda Wong. And Welch. Chair, you have quorum with 8 members, 9 when Michelle comes back.
Okay, thank you for that, Curtis. So we'll start up with our public safety reports with Honolulu Fire Department. And I think, is there anyone online? Okay, I know there were 2 big accidents just before this, one on Kapahulu and one right at by the Texaco on Kapiolani. So one in front of Leonard. So they may be involved with that. As far as that, let's move on to that. If they come in, then we'll come back to them. But the Honolulu Police Department, District 6, Waikiki, Kapiolani Park, Diamond Head. Are you here, sir?
Oh, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, Margaret's here.
I was here. I just couldn't find my unmute.
Okay, then we'll go to District 7 and we'll come back to District 6. And also, I know Kendrick Wong is here as well. And District 7, Diamond Head, Kapahulu-St. Louis Heights, East
Hi,
Honolulu.
can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I'll start with the stats for June. There was 5 motor vehicle thefts compared to 10 previous month. 0 burglaries where 1 reported the previous month. 14 thefts with 22 reported the previous month. 4 unauthorized entry previous month. Total calls for service for June was 5,315. Safety tip for the month. July is National Vehicle Theft Prevention for the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration. 650,000 vehicles were reported stolen in 2025. 2,300 on Oahu. So vehicle thefts disrupting millions of vehicles owners' lives, stripping them of their security and mobility. Passenger cars make up the most of stolen vehicles, and summer months have been the highest reported occurrence of vehicle thefts in the United States. NHTSA urges vehicle owners to take these steps to keep their vehicles and any valuables inside them safe at all times. These can sometimes exploit advanced vehicle technology, but there are things you can do to reduce the risk of theft. Things you can do is park in well-lit areas or well-traveled areas. Close and lock all your windows and doors when you park. Keep valuables out of sight, such as the glove box or trunk. Do not leave your keys in the vehicle. Do not leave the area where your vehicle is running. Do not leave the area while your vehicle is running. Consider aftermarket anti-theft tools such as alarm, steering wheel locks, GPS tracking devices, or vehicle recovery systems. And one thing I noticed that we get a lot of Diamond Head when vehicles get stolen is people have their keys in those key lock boxes that they hang from the back of their car. Those are easily overcome, and they have keys to your car. You just drive away. So though I recommend not using those to hide your key. But that's what I have for this month. I am open to take questions.
Thank you. Are there questions for District 7? Okay, I do not see any online, so thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
We do have a question from Board Member Matson.
For District For number 7, there was a Waikiki board member, Rolf, who brought up the exact same concerns we've had for several years. And that is about that fire department van that's inhabited by a transient that has been sitting there for years. Is anything going to be done about that? That's illegal parking for overnight. It's only for park users. So when is something going to be done about that?
Sorry, where is this at?
Pocky Avenue, right near the tennis courts, near the archery range area, the picnic area, on the Malca side of Pocky Avenue.
It's a fire department van?
It's red and white, and it looks like it used to belong to the fire department.
Okay, I can forward the information to District 6. I'm not sure if about that van and that parking area offhand, but I can forward to D6. That's the District 6 area.
It's on the side of the road where all the other park users park, but it just sits there.
Can I say
24/7.
something, Michelle? I'm very familiar with that. It's like a vintage fire. It might not even be from Hawaii. It might be from they imported it from the mainland.
Large.
It's like a large fire vehicle that she's
Yeah.
referring to.
It's a van.
It's huge, and I see the guy there camping out in it at night.
Thank you. I think that's for for District 6, which didn't come tonight. So if they come, but I think our officer from District 7 will relay that.
I will.
Board has brought it up.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for District 7? Okay, hearing none. Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Next on our item is so I don't think a lot of us knew this. So I think we were thinking we signed up for 2 years, but we actually have officer elections every year per the neighborhood plan. So let's go right to it. We have, so we're starting a new term from today until June of next year. Chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, and any other officer the board determines it needs to conduct business. So with that, I will open the floor for nominations for chair.
I nominate Winston Welch.
Okay. Okay. Are there other nominations for chair?
Second. You. Margaret, second Winston. Can you hear me?
Are there any other for chair?
We can hear you.
Are there any other nominations for chair?
Can't figure out how to turn my
Okay.
camera on.
Okay, I accept. Do we need a vote or anything, or are we okay? Okay, let's do we want, okay, let's go for a vote, Curtis.
So please state the candidate you would like to serve as chair, and Winston Welch is the only candidate. Allen,
Winston.
Asina, Winston, Knight,
Winston.
Matson,
Winston.
Miranda, absent. Murchie,
Winston,
Rosman, absent. St. Dennis.
Winston.
Oh, Rosman is here.
Yeah,
Winston.
I'm online. Sorry.
Thank you. Velasco, Winston. Wasden, absent. Witherwax, absent. Bruce Wong, Winston. Kendrick Wong, Winston. Linda Wong, Winston. And Welch, Winston. Okay, 12 votes. Winston Welch is your chair.
Thank you, everyone. I will serve with your willing help of lots of aloha for this second year. And with that, we'll move straight on to the vice chair, and I'll open the floor for nominations.
I nominate Arlene.
Arlene, and I don't think we need a second. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Seeing or hearing none, you want to do the same thing?
Allen,
Aye.
Arlene? Okay, Velasco. Hasina? Knight? Matson?
Arlene.
Miranda's absent. Murchie?
Aye.
Arlene? Rosman?
Aye.
Arlene? St. Dennis?
Staying.
Abstained. Arlene? Velasco? She accepts and votes for herself. Wasden? Absent. Witherwax? Absent. Bruce Wong? Kendrick Wong?
Aye.
Linda Wong?
Aye.
And Welch? 11 votes for Velasco and 1 abstention.
Thank you. Thank you, Arlene, for also all the work that you do and your lovely disposition and keeping us on track for time. So I love last time when you called me out, especially. Uh, Next, we have secretary and nominations for secretary.
I nominate Angie for the secretary.
Can you say it again?
Angie.
Knight, Angie Knight. Okay. Does Miss Knight accept?
Not at this time.
Not at this time.
Thank you, though.
Okay.
You can circle back next month if there's not a person.
I nominate Michelle Matson.
I decline.
Are there any other nominations?
You can self-nominate or we can.
I nominate Rafina Hasina.
Yes. It- Okay. Are there any other nominations? Okay, seeing none, you will call the vote.
Yes. Rafia Hasina has been nominated to serve as the board secretary and she accepted. Alan?
Rafia.
Rafia? Hasina? Rafia? And Knight? Matson?
Rafia.
Miranda, absent. Murchie?
Rafia.
Rosman?
Aye.
St. Dennis?
Rafia.
Rafia? Velasco? Wasden, absent. Witherwax? Absent. Bruce Wong?
Yeah.
Rafia? Kendrick Wong?
Rafia.
Rafia? Linda Wong?
Rafia.
Rafia? And Welch. 12 votes for Rafia Hasina. She has been elected secretary.
Congratulations, madam. Thank you very much. And finally, for our treasurer, nominations for a treasurer.
Bruce. Yeah.
Bruce, you're saying Bruce Wong?
Yeah, Bruce Wong.
Do you accept Bruce? He declines. I will nominate Linda Wong. Decline.
Really symbolic. Angie Knight.
Okay.
I can do it again. It's a not real position.
Okay, I nominate Angie Knight.
I nominate, okay, I nominate Kendrick Wong.
Okay.
I said,
So Welch nominated Knight and Knight accepted. Okay, and Matson nominated Kendrick. Did he accept?
You accept Kendrick?
Sure, if you insist.
He accepted.
Okay.
Okay, I'll need your. a
Are
lot
there
of
any
your
other
help.
nominations? Okay, let's call the vote.
Okay. Angie Knight and Kendrick Wong are your nominees for your board's treasurer. Please state the candidate you would like to vote for. Alan.
Angie.
Angie. Hasina. Kendrick. Knight. Angie. Okay. Matson.
Kendrick.
Kendrick. Miranda's absent. Murchie.
Kendrick,
Kendrick. Rosman.
Angie.
Angie. St. Dennis.
Angie,
Angie. Velasco. Kendrick. Wasden. Absent. Witherwax. Absent. Bruce Wong. Angie. Kendrick Wong.
Angie.
Linda Wong.
Angie,
Angie. And Welch. Angie. Angie Knight has been elected the board secretary with 8 votes to Kendrick Wong's 4 votes. Or, sorry, treasurer. Treasurer.
Thank you, everybody. And congratulations. Do we need any, well, let's see, we can have someone else come up there before. But thank you, everybody. So with that, we will move on to action item B, which is discussion and consideration of board member Ronan Witherwax's 3 absences and possible request for a motion to declare the seat vacant pursuant to Neighborhood Plan 2-14-106. How do we go about this?
Or ask if Ronan.
Yes, are you here, Ronan? Okay, there is a name on the WebEx, but no response. So essentially this, and this is actually a bigger question that I think the Neighborhood Commission has to take up separately than this, which is what does present mean? Because right now, just signing up means you're, you know, on some level, but yes, ma'am.
How many absences, including today? Is it 4?
Today would be 4.
Absences only count for the 1-year term at present, according to the neighborhood plan. So it actually resets today.
Right.
So today would be 1 absence.
Yes, but it is 4 for the entire.
Right.
Yes. We're just keeping track. That's all.
Yeah, Curtis is.
Make a motion to.
I will entertain any motion to declare the seat vacant. And,
Second.
okay,
Okay, this is a motion to declare the sub-district seat to be vacant pursuant to neighborhood plan section 2-14-106.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is his seat an at-large or is it a sub-district?
Mr. Witherwax's seat is a sub-district.
Okay.
To my knowledge, he is serving in sub-district 1
Okay. Just want to clarify.
off the top of my head. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we'll do a roll call vote. Allen.
Aye.
Aye. Hasina. Aye. Knight. Aye. Matson.
Aye.
Aye. Miranda, absent. Murchie.
aye.
Aye. Rosman.
Aye.
Aye. St. Dennis.
Aye.
Velasco. Wasden. Absent. Oh, no, that is not Wasden. Witherwax. Absent. Bruce Wong. Kendrick Wong.
Aye.
Linda Wong. Welch. 12 votes. The motion carries. The seat is now vacant.
okay, so, right, we will open that up. So if you're friends and neighbors, now we voted on this before, Curtis, this is a point of order to, did we say that if a seat came up that it would be at large, or was that just for, I think it was for all of the seats that came available, wasn't it? Was it just for those 2? Okay, so this is for district, for St. Louis Heights District 1. Okay, so let your friends and family know on the Hill.
Chair, I think that because there were vacancies in Kapahulu seats, the board decided to have those seats at large. So interested community members could at least fill those seats. And I believe that was just for this term.
Okay, thank you.
But the same thing could happen in St. Louis Heights too, and then it would have to go before the commission.
Okay. The next one is the discussion and consideration of forming a permitted interaction group or committee on the neighborhood board boundaries. So we brought this up last time. So we did, the chair of the neighborhood commission office came to our meeting last time and suggested that we meet informally with some of the surrounding districts. So Arlene and I did meet with the chair and vice chair of Kaimuki, and we realized quickly that we need a lot more guidance on this from the neighborhood commission office itself as to, because we don't know, can we have imbalanced districts? How do we go about ascertaining the will of the people that live there? Lots of questions about the procedures and how we can go about considering things. So with that, I think a committee might be a little cumbersome for this because of the back and forth and up and down and in and out. So I would suggest forming a permitted interaction group on this one. And that is, I would like to open up for discussion.
Sure, I have a suggestion. We have difficulties right now with a permitted interaction group. They're going to be slammed shut if they make a report. And that can't happen because these issues go on and they also go to the commissions and the council. And so my suggestion is we form a special subject committee, not an interaction group. The special committee has the right to continue to make their reports, give their updates as needed, and also represent the board at any commission or other functional meeting.
Right. Okay. The discussions, Angie.
Yeah, I just wanted to first say that the Kaimuki Neighborhood Board has voted to create a permanent interaction group of their own to work with us on this for the St. Louis Heights sub-district transfer to Kaimuki. As far as the neighborhood commission goes, their request to the chairs was just a resolution of interest. As far as boundaries themselves, that was not part of the request. So I do understand the desire to know more information. However, if the PIG is just to respond to the initial request of it, I think that falls in line with the desire, which is just say, hey, this is our consideration, these are reasons for it, and they can work outside of the agendas and all of that with the Kaimuki just to get on the same page to have a joint resolution. So I support the PIG if that means that we can respond in a timely manner just on the request of the commission, not in regards to the actual boundaries, which will be a further discussion later on in the process.
Chair, I think that it's very important to have cohesiveness, and special subject committees can interact with other parties. They can also have members of the community on their committee. This permitted interaction group, or as everybody loves to say, PIG, is it's so temporary and so single-minded in as far as time frame and production, that I think a lot of things, especially these two items, even if they're separated for boundaries and for a special interest proposal to separate out of our board, they could be two special committees. But we have severe limitations with permitted interaction groups. We've seen that with the present one working on the brochure issue, or as the neighborhood commission office calls it, marketing.
What about something where we have a permitted interaction group to gather basic information to present to the board. At that point, then say, okay, this is what the commission has said. They said we can do this, that, or the other. Here are some alternatives, and then form a committee after that.
I think then you'll be just diluting everything and it will become more confusing going down the line. I wouldn't support it.
Are there other folks who would like to weigh in on this?
Well, I have a very basic question. I would like to know what prompted this. So it wasn't any sub-district who said,
Oh, I
We're not-
can add to that. So for disclosure, hi, I'm Angie. I'm part of the St. Louis Heights Subdistrict, and I also sit on the Neighborhood Commission. One of the members of the St. Louis Heights Community Association also sits on the commission. And so just to say that when this was announced at the commission meetings, it is public access. So it was announced to everyone. But at that point, it was brought to the community association. And this has been something in the past that they have been considering. And so they came to the, sub-district representatives, and they're like, hey, we would like to see if we can move our sub-district into the Kaimuki because we relate more to the issues of Kaimuki. So it was prompted by the commission, but it's also through community requests as well. And so a part of the desire to move over to Kaimuki is the shared Wailea Avenue. And also when it comes to emergency responses, St. Louis Heights aligns more with Wilhelmina Rise and Maulani Heights. And so that was part of the interest as well. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. It had to do with emergency responses.
And I think the main thing is there's a lack of basic information from the neighborhood commission on this process. So regardless of whether we like it's good or bad about what we would decide on, I think we just need to understand the ground rules and how to proceed from there, which is why I suggested a permitted interaction group, which might be a little more nimble than for at least for a short time, just to get basic information. And then maybe after we know some facts, then we could discuss the issues.
This is to communicate directly with the commission for guidance, not to work on the subject.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, I think you might be, I don't want to say that you would be okay with that, but with that, I would entertain a motion to form a permitted interaction group.
I second that.
Okay. Arlene
I first said,
motions and Angie seconds. And then we can come back later and have these other substantive meetings when we know what we're looking at. So with that, let's take a vote on that if we could, Curtis. Do I have unanimous consent or all in favor? Can you show me raising your hands? And opposed? Abstain? Okay. Mattson and someone else online, and Margaret. Okay, with that, are there folks who would like to be on this permitted interaction group? Angie, I would be, Arlene would be. Okay, and Julie Allen, any others? Okay. And Rafia? Okay. Yeah,
I wouldn't mind being
let's just
on
find
it
out
as
some-
well, depending when the meetings are, because I'm going to be away.
Okay. Thank you, Margaret. Margaret, Arlene, Julia, Allen, and Rafia, and Angie. Yes. Is that 5? Okay. Thank you, everyone. So with that, we'll
Winston,
find out
can
some more information.
I have my hand raised? With,
Go ahead.
Chair? Yeah, I just like the committee that's forming could have some special consideration for these marginal groups that are portions of land. One is on Kapiolani Boulevard with a monster 43-story building that's technically, I think, in your neighborhood board, who knows why. And that whole area is really thinks of itself as Mo'ili. The other area is Koale Road, which was flooded, and you folks probably don't have the same considerations as those people. So if you could, take that into consideration also as to how your groups are divided up so that they get representation also. That'd be appreciated. Or in communication anyway, at least.
Okay, thank you, Laura. Okay, with that, we'll move on to the, and I would encourage everybody to go online and read the actual boundaries of this neighborhood as part of our collective homework and that of our neighbors. These were laid out a long time ago. So anyway, with that, we'll go on to approval of the board meeting minutes.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
may
ma'am.
I speak on that
Sure.
initially? Thank you. Having been the board secretary, I worked diligently to review the minutes produced by the Neighborhood Commission Office, and they represented that they use Ninja AI. Is that still the case, Curtis? Whatever has been used, including for these minutes that are pending approval, has been deficient. And I did send a red line copy of corrected minutes, which were adopted by the board. I think it was from July through October of last year. And those red line copies are posted on our website so that those referring to the minutes can see the gaps in the Neighborhood Commission's office's draft through their AI system. I don't know if they are instructing AI to leave certain things out, such as a comment by our vice chair or certain subjects out, but the deficiencies are clearly posted because that was my intent to inform not only our community, but this board and our board members that we need to do something about this. So as the chair, that I would, so I could complete all the rest of the minutes. I asked him in November if I could have another program of AI that's more objective, or even a transcript that I could go through for factual information, rather than spending 10 hours going through the recording sentence by sentence and comparing it to sentence by sentence in our long meeting minutes. I did not receive anything back. I have not been able to proceed with what I need to do because my time is very short. And AI takes how many minutes? Less than a minute? So whoever, I mean, our new chair, our new secretary will need that tool. And I would request it from the chair to provide a transcript for comparison or a different program with no instructions on it to summarize. We really need that.
Then for this item, it's an excellent suggestion. And if you're amenable, then maybe what we could do is exactly that. And maybe Rafia could take a look and compare all of these minutes that are here from November until May and come back next month.
Yes, I will.
Well, we'll need the right equipment to work with.
Right, right. Is that okay for you, Rafia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle, for the raising that.
It may take more than a month, so we will go as we go. They've been waiting for a while. So with that, I will postpone. With that, let's go on to Kathleen Pahuni said she is not going to be here for the Board of Water Supply tonight. Are there any questions? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, sir. Welcome. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, good evening, Chair, members, and the community. I'm Stephen Nordstrom from the Board of Water Supply. And for the month of July, back in June for the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board District, there were no main breaks to report. And I'm excited to announce that we're getting ready for the 2026 annual Unthirsty Plant Sale, which is going to be at the Halava Xeriscape Garden. That's going to be the first Saturday of August, August 1st from 9 to 1. There's going to be a variety of xeric plants by local vendors. We're going to have a team of plant doctors from the UH Master Gardener program with plant care device and information, informational booths including rain barrel catchment information and free soil conditioner. If you want more information, it's all on our website, boardofwatersupply.com/plant sale. And over there on the table, I brought some flyers that you can take home with you. Also, there is a wildfire flyer as well, so please check that out as well. And then I believe you were requesting for an update on the Montserrat project. So Kathleen provided me this following update. The Montserrat project has no changes to report from last month. The contractor isn't really working on site because they are waiting for RFI responses from the Board of Water Supply pertaining to questions about the new service connections for customers. This is on Montserrat from Pocky Avenue to Campbell Avenue, and then Campbell Avenue to Montserrat Avenue. Yeah, so that is the quick Montserrat project update, and that's all I have for you.
Thank you, Stephen. Other questions for the Board of Water Supply? And not seeing any online.
Great.
Thank you very much for your report today, Stephen.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
So we have Kapiolani Community College and Lisa Yamamoto. Are you online, Lisa? Do not see her. And have maybe
There was
someone's
a water
online?
main break. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Winston?
Yep.
There was a water main break, either last night or the night before, right on University, I think by Marco Polo near Puile Place. Maybe that's not up to date in the July minutes.
Okay. Stephen maybe knows.
So the report of main breaks is actually for the previous month. So what I was reporting on was back in June. So at the next month's meeting, we'll have the July main breaks.
Thank you.
Yep, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
So we do have concerns about that.
Next is Casey down here, Diamond Head State Monument, Division State Park Interpretive Center Coordinator Olivia Storms. Are you here tonight, Olivia? Not seeing. Okay. With that, we've got a bunch of races here. So first up, we do have that the Honolulu Century Ride, which is going to be September 27th. The Hawaii Bicycling League. Christopher, are you here or online? Or okay. Hello. You're not Christopher.
My name is Malia Haranaga. I'm with the Hawaii Bicycling League. I'm the Director of Education. And yeah, so you guys have the information about the Honolulu Century Ride. This is one of our biggest fundraiser ride events, and it's coming through the area. There will be some road closures, and those are located on that handout sheet that's in the Google Drive. As far as what this event is about, it brings out riders of all riding experiences, getting them to experience biking in a safe and accessible way. And this is a ride, not a race. So folks are just riding along, going their personal distance mileage that they are looking to do, but at most it's 100 miles. And it starts at Kapiolani Park on September 27th, Sunday. Any questions?
Do we have any questions for Hawaii Bicycling League? Okay. And there, that information is online in our Google Drive for people that want to refer to that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
We also have the Dick Evans Memorial Road Race on Sunday, August 23rd, 2026. And is there someone online for that? If not, that is also in a Google Drive. I think we have maybe a couple of other folks for any other. Yes, go ahead, sir. Come on up and let us know about the event.
Yes, good evening. My name is Stanley Kim. I'm representing JTB Hawaii, the Honolulu Festival Foundation, and the Rainbow Ekiden. And our announcement is that our event, the Rainbow Ekiden, has been rescheduled to August 29th, which is a Saturday. All the road closures, all the road map plans, and all the logistics remain the same. Our event usually runs in March, and this year it was in March 15th. And some people might not know the event itself, but we culminate in the Nagaoka fireworks. So because of the Kona lows that happened in the mid-March, our event was canceled. And we are just rescheduling the Rainbow Ekiden to August 29th. And further information for the road closures and event information is on the website, rainbowekiden.com. That's spelled RAINBO Ekiden, which is EKIDEN.com. And for your information, Ekiden is the Japanese word for relay race. So we're basically running from Kapiolani to the second lookout at Diamond Head, and then back to Kapiolani again. That is one loop. And we have several teams. We're hoping to have all 1,000 runners that signed up in March to come back and run in the end of August. And that's it.
And that information is also in our Google Drive, so people can find out more about it there. Okay, thank you so much. And we have a question from Linda Wong.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you for always coming and telling us about the Ekiden. It's a pleasure to inform the community. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you so much. Oh, we do have one more. Laura St. Dennis.
Yeah, how many years has this been going? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to me. Okay.
This just has to do with the races and runs and road closures. The road was closed for both Saturday and Sunday in June, and I thought that wasn't going to happen. So I would like to see things scheduled around having total road closures and no parking 2 days in a row. Because the neighborhood of taxpayers, it really puts them out. And I know there are times when I can't get out to go do anything. I'm trapped. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And Margaret?
How many years has this race been going on?
Geez, I don't know the answer to that, but it's been about 10 years. Yeah,
So
it
it's not a
started.
heritage event
No, it's not.
because we're supposed to be limiting the races because of neighbors like this thing. And I think this last few weeks, it was closed every weekend or every other weekend. And it's, I mean, can we move them to Polani or Chinatown or something? Anything that was 25 years, I think, was a heritage event. Sorry to be.
And I think
a
those may be
downer,
for
but
parades in Waikiki, if I'm not mistaken.
what was
Yeah, we can bring that up to the board. The Honolulu Festival itself has been going on much longer, and the Rainbow Ekiden, the race itself, has been, about 10 to 12 years, I believe.
Is it part of the festival?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, thank you Oh, one more. We got Linda. Is that Linda?
The parade law actually includes legacy events that have been going on for a long time. So they give them special inclusion in the parade law.
Okay, thank you very much.
What the community did ask, though, was that if there's something on Saturday, don't do something on Sunday. If there's something in the morning, don't do something in the afternoon, so that the weekend is not crowded with events, so that people can go out and do whatever's. I do realize that the Ekiden is longer, so we just like to limit those kind of events. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other announcements like of a similar roads
Hi.
or parades? Yep. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Ty. Hi, my name is Ty. I'm here from Shaka Racing, also part of Mid-Pacific Road Runners Club. And I've got another running event to bring up. And we've got the Norma Tamana 15K coming up on August 9th. And then we've got a half marathon on November 8th. These are legacy events. They've been around for quite a while now. They are a lot shorter timeline. We don't have a lot of entrants, so they are in and out pretty quickly. And we don't have any changes from previous years, but it does affect a little bit on the Kalakaua, Malka side by Kapiolani Park, and minor road closures just on one lane around Diamond Head for a short period in the morning.
Okay, and can you tell us the dates of that again?
The first one is Sunday, August 9th, and that's at 6 a.m. And that's a shorter event. It's pretty much cleared out completely in about 2 hours. And the second one is Sunday, November 8th, which is a while away. And that's a half marathon. And that starts really early at 5:30. So we're out of there as soon as we can.
Okay, and information about that is in our Google Drive. So
Yes,
I
it
guess
is.
looks like August will be a busy month for that. And we have a question from Arlene Velasco.
This is Arlene. I'm only asking because I'm part of the Surfrider Blue Water Task Force, and we're working out of the Waikiki Aquarium. And I know that Sunday, August 9th is a test date, and I have to get samples to the aquarium. But we're not doing that until like 10:15. Do you think the road will
Oh,
be
yeah.
open?
Yeah, by 10:15, you should be completely clear. I think technically the permit goes to 11, but usually in this race by 10:15, like the Malka side of Kalakaua will be open the entire time. And I would guess that the Makai side will be open the entire time. And I would guess by then the Malka side should be open as well.
Okay, I just need to get to the aquarium. All right, thank you.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other races or parades or anything else that we should know about? We have a question from, looks like Linda Wong.
Okay, thank you. The November 8th event, is there something that's on Sunday? Is there something on the Saturday also? Another road closure?
I didn't see that. Are you aware of anything, Curtis? Not that we're aware of. I don't believe so, Linda.
Okay, so the man that was testifying doesn't know that either.
I'm not sure that far out. I can check with the city and
Those
county.
those are the kind of things that we wanted the people making events to check. Is there another event on the other? Will your event make both Saturday and Sunday have road closures? So, because we don't want to tie up the community for the whole weekend. Thank you.
Okay, we don't see anything on the city's calendar, so. Okay. Yes, Kendrick Wong.
I live smack dab at ground zero of all these runs and events, and I have to say that the police are really good at moving the traffic so that we can get in and out. And it does. I realize it is a little inconvenient for some people, but I realize at the same time we live in an area that serves all of Hawaii. It's like a central gathering place for not just tourists but locals and just everyone, surfers, runners. It's a huge recreation area, and it helps generate tax revenues that help keep our taxes down. So yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. Because I live there, and it's actually not too bad when they have these big races. Police have been really helpful.
Okay, thank you, Kendrick. Okay, with that, we will move on to our community concerns from residents. So these are for items that are not on the agenda. I know we have a couple presentations later on, one about pickleball. So if there's items that are not on the agenda for later, we welcome community concerns from residents. Is there anyone in person? Okay, we got a couple folks. If you come up to the microphone and tell us your name and what your concern is.
Hi, my name is Paul Nishijima. I'm a resident of Montserrat Avenue, about half block above Diamond Head Market and Grill. Anyway, about February, someone painted across the street around the driveway, 15 feet Malka, 15 feet Mackay with red. And what that did to our Montserrat Street is it impacted parking spaces. Now, and what that took out was about 2 or 3 parking spaces. Now, during this time, there was a lot of construction on Montserrat Street. The whole lower Montserrat was being tore up. And so parking was at a premium. This put a pressure on all the residents of the street. And you all talk about events that happen in Waikiki. Well, our street is affected too, not as directly as some of you are, but tangentially when there's running events, half of our street is, you can't park there sometimes. So what that does for residents, and I'm talking about myself, working class people, I mean, trying to come home at night, just to go home and eat dinner. Sometimes we have to park a street over. Or if you're going shopping, you have tons of, grocery bags. It's very difficult to first unload and then find a parking space. So it does affect us when 2 or 3 parking spaces get ejected from our street. And so anyway, I wrote a letter to Councilman Waters and through his office. It was informed to me that basically it's illegal, that people shouldn't do that. And I'm not accusing anybody of doing it. I'm just saying that all of a sudden 30 feet of parking space, eligible parking space, got painted red. So I've been following this up, and through Councilman Waters and his assistant, Mr. Du, I found out that it was illegal. But it seems to me that they were going to contact the DTS, I guess, the Department of Transportation. And what they did, they completely ignored the issue and just stated that there was a red parking space just for the bus stop. And that's true. I'm not complaining about that. Buses need a space to park to let off passengers. But what I'm talking about was the space adjacent to it, okay? So that's why I contacted Michelle, and she was so helpful in informing me that your board would look into it. And surprisingly enough, to this day, that space, one of the spaces I'm talking about, was painted white. So whoever did that for me, I appreciate that. I don't know who did it. I don't know if the board did it. I don't know if Councilman Waters did it, but I'm very appreciative of that. However, on the Mauka side of that driveway, there's this prime 15 feet space left that's red. Now, I drive a compact. My car can easily fit in there, easily.
I think, sir, we have Mr. Crucky probably knows about this specific issue and might be able to answer it. If you want to address it now, then maybe, because if there's any more we need to know about it.
So everything the gentleman's saying actually is correct. And Adam Duke from Councilmember Waters, Council Chair Waters' office contacted me on this. And I went to DTS, and there had been some previous contacts, and that had happened. It turns out that he's absolutely correct. And by ordinance, the painting of a area curb can only be done by DTS and DFM, and it's only for bus stops, right? And so this one was whatever that they were doing. Now they're on notice that it was wrong. They put in an order to do the bus stop, and whoever executed the order, right, the contractor, just messed up. And so they're going to come out and fix it. They're going to address it. And you're absolutely right. It should only be the bus stop that'll end up red. And I'll keep on top of it and be able to report back to you when that's fixed. Right. So your letter to the council member did work, and everything he said was correct.
Okay, thank you for that. Does that sound solved?
It sounds great. I just want to add one thing. Excluding 3 parking spaces might sound small to some of you, but what it does is that it puts, when a resident sees something red, there's a great confusion in that resident's head. Is it legal or not? And when that confusion happens, it erodes respect for the police, it erodes respect for the laws, and it amps up people's feelings, and I don't think at this state in our history, we need more amping up in terms of getting, whether I would say 99% of all citizens want to follow the law. So when that kind of question mark of whether something is legal or not really is something that I worry about, whether I should park there or not, So I just want to say, thank you for acknowledging the fact that a small thing can affect a lot of people in a big way, actually. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. I just want to mention or to reiterate, you mentioned that there's still about 30 feet of red curb that is close to the residential driveway, but does not appear to have anything to do with the bus stop, which already has its own red curb. Is that correct? 15 feet. So we now have one red curb that has magically become white. But we still have 15 feet of excess red that needs to be addressed. I just wanted to clarify. I knew you knew everything. Thank you. No, that was my.
Okay, looks like good coordination between the city and the council member's office. And Linda Wong?
This has come up a lot. It seems that a lot of people paint the curbs, and DTS said that so many people, they've told us that so many people paint the curbs that they have stopped painting curbs. So we did get that as an answer from DTS before. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and another question or comment from the audience. Go ahead if you want to come up.
Hey, my name is Nathaniel Olm. I had two questions actually. The first being, last time I was here, there was a timeline for improvements to Kapilani Park. I believe it was like a bocce ball court, but then in particular, what I was interested in was it was slackline and some rings, and I was wondering what the timeline was for that. We'll start with that.
Arlene?
I've been in close communication with the one of the city parks and rec representatives through the Diamond Head Community Garden, and because it concerns us as well. They want to put in a ADA huge walkway through our garden, and so we are being abreast of this. But I haven't heard any timelines, and I'm trying to get it as well. I don't think there should be sand volleyball courts where the kids are playing soccer every night. And we want to make sure that the city is aware of that before they go through these things. And I haven't had much success in getting any response.
So there wasn't any timeline. I mean, I know each of these things could be like separated out, I would imagine.
Yeah, but they were all kind of lumped together. So I'm trying to find out information on all of them. Maybe I can get some help. I don't know if they'll get back to us on the schedule. This is more of a Laura Thielen kind of question. Okay, we'll do that.
And then I'm assuming you use the 311 app for any damages that have occurred at the park too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a couple pieces that are like broken apart over there. Okay.
And
Excellent.
maybe Director Crooked, you can let us know more about that. Okay. Yes, Ms. Metzen.
Yeah, I've been waiting for some word on this as well, because we had the presentation And it was a wham bam presentation. We're going to do this and we're going to do it internally. And it was something like 8 redevelopment projects of historic lands in Kapiolani Park, which is historic open space. And with what the purpose is that was stated is that the director is trying to make the parks more active. Well, also with Kapiolani Park, parking is at a premium because the court decided that you cannot pave over Kapiolani Park for parking. It has what it has. And we haven't heard back. We just got this presentation and that's it. And it's all in the back room. And we need answers.
I'll suggest we have a committee meeting on that, maybe joint between parks.
Yes, I want to have a community meeting and invite someone from the Parks and Recreation Department to let us know the status, because we really have not had any transparency as to the planning on this.
I think your concerns, the number of the board members and community have concerns about the plans.
Yes, we have a lot of concerns. I've also talked to a lot of the soccer moms and the coaches, and they're pretty upset about hearing that their fields want to be made into sand volleyball courts.
Okay, so maybe if I will, maybe Arlene, if you want to head up a committee.
Yes, I'm now staying on this island for months, so I will set up a meeting as soon as possible. Is there a way to make sure that the community knows about this?
Yeah, we have to announce it a week in advance.
I know, but
Oh, a bigger way?
yeah, like social media or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious. Is there any way to separate out the projects? Because obviously sand volleyball and bocce ball, or the garden itself could be
Yes, I think
carried to what the
yes, I don't think anyone was everyone thought that the upgrade of equipment was a good thing. I don't think anyone was questioning that. So yes, that could be separated for
yeah
sure.
yeah. I've gone ahead and told a lot of the guys that I work out with over at the park, and they all seem ecstatic about the rings and everything else.
Yeah, no, it'd be really nice.
Yeah, I think they're interested.
Okay, so we'll look forward to a committee hearing here shortly, or joint committee hearing. Okay, are there other folks who are present who have a community concern? Yes, sir.
Hi, Jason Liang. I just want to do a PSA regarding disaster preparedness. So back in June, Representative Tina Grandinetti held a disaster preparedness town hall. And at that town hall, it was mentioned the HHARP, Hawaii Hazard Awareness Resilience Preparedness. So you can find that by going to dod.hawaii.gov. And what they'll do is that, I believe Aloha McGuffey has been presenting about resiliency hubs, but what you can do is that you can actually get training in order to join a community, in order to prepare your community for natural disasters, because we do have Super El Nino coming up this year. And then additionally, the last thing I wanted to do a PSA on is the real property tax credit. It is due September 30th. The form and I believe qualifications have not come out yet, but please be on the lookout and get ready to submit that.
Thank you. Are you with Representative Grandinetti's office?
Oh, no, representing myself.
Okay. City. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. And I note the chat just got here as well. Yeah. Okay, are there any other announcements or community concerns from residents? Yes, sir.
Aloha kako, Sage Koinoa. My name is Sage Murakami. I'm coming to you guys through the Oahu Resilience Hub Learning Community. So perfect to follow this up. We were actually tabling at Disaster Town Hall meeting in Kaimuki. But just to explain to you guys and give a quick friendly invite to your hui and your neighborhood board, we're a community of practice that is dedicated to supporting the development of resilience hubs here in Hawaii, as well as connecting that ecosystem of resilience. We're a joint program operated by Serene Sustainability Lab out of Kapiolani Community College and the Lahui Foundation nonprofit in Loie. And this stems from the City and County Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resilience, Action 15 report. We have multiple partnerships from city, county, state, as well as local neighborhood and community nonprofits. And our mission is to support individual hubs, micro networks, and regions from small communities to entire Ahupuas and entire Mokus, and sharing best practices for community resilience. And we have a presentation with a bunch of QR codes and slides. We will make sure to share with you guys for your Hui here today. But it's just an invitation for you guys to become either a member for your organization to become a hub with us. And we have community trainings seasonally, first aid, CPR certification, shelter training with Red Cross, psychological first aid CPR certification, disaster mental health, DEM CERT training, community emergency response team training, and FEMA community resilience certifications. And we have virtual office hours Monday and Friday. We'll share a QR code with you guys as well. We will also hold monthly meetings for our community. Our next one is July 23rd with a QR code in the slide presentation we'll send to your board chair to share it to your Hui as well as we're doing a Ili community grant right now, $50 to $250. So we encourage you guys all to apply to that. Mahalos.
And I think we've had a presentation before from Miku Lenentine from Serene. So you mentioned this on July 23rd. I mean, I think the community, and I regret I wasn't, oh, you got it. Okay, I wasn't able to get to the one with Tina Grandini, but it seems like we could use like a disaster preparedness fair or something along those lines of these communities, whether it's the Red Cross or the city or churches or the community neighborhood boards or whatever, maybe even in this here, or maybe that is what that's designed for.
Yeah, so we do have we're connected with Be Ready Manoa, which I know that's not your neighborhood board, but they do a round robin for disaster preparedness. We would love to come support and talk about how we can help facilitate that for you guys. That's part of why we're here.
Okay, this is a great venue right down here too, and I know Manoa is actually, they're so on the ball. They give out walkie talkies to people for Be Prepared Manoa or whatever they're called. They're totally with it, but we'd love to have something like that here.
Sure. Yeah.
Questions for the gentleman? Yes, Miss St. Dennis.
I got your card and thank you for that. So I got handouts from like 7 or 8 different organizations there, and I'd like to get that stuff and maybe your cards passed out to all of the board members so that we can actually be prepared and then we won't get a hurricane this year.
Sure. I may have some cards with me here today. My email, if I can put that in, is SAGEM @hawaii.edu. You can reach out to me with any questions. Our director's on field work this month, so I'm stepping in lieu of her for this month if you guys wanted to reach out.
And maybe you can email us any materials that you have so we can post them on our board website.
Yes, I emailed you our slide presentation earlier today, but
okay.
Just email me back and I can email it to whoever needs that information.
Okay, and okay, we'll just get that to Curtis and he'll be able to post that.
Wallace.
And the questions. Okay, well, we look forward to a lot more information about this. So thank you for coming. Any other folks here in person? And Laura Ruby, I see your hand up.
Yes. Hi, good evening, Chair and Board. Last month I came and talked to you briefly about a resolution for an inexpensive, quickly realized conveyance across the Alawai Canal. That is a ferry or ferries, plural. And though it wasn't a time, and nor is this time for a discussion, I'd like to ask that you put it on the agenda for the presentations at the next meeting. I would just briefly say that one of the main I guess thoughts about a ferry across the Alawai Canal is the transformative nature of something that when you're on the water and looking out at things, especially our view planes, Diamond Head, the Kotwalaus, Punch Bowl, so forth, that you are really have a transformation, and it's just a lovely viewing. And this would be, and I'm going to make this very quick right now, it would be, similar to a small size bus with wide enough that would transport bicycles and pedestrians across the canal. It wouldn't require any historical impact. As you know, the docks, like right outside where you are now, are all actually prepared for receiving the waterborne vehicles. The ferry would not have any gas operated equipment on it at all, like mopeds or anything, and it would work the same way as a bus would work. That is an operator that would have an on and off ramp for the ADA compliant people, and it would go back and forth across the canal. So I would like to have so I don't know how it's done specifically, whether I ask you, Chair, or ask somebody from the board to have it put on the agenda for next time.
And Laura, just for clarification, are you asking for a resolution or for a presentation or both?
It would be a resolution that I would do the presentation. I just have some visual images, just in case some people didn't, get the picture of what it would look like.
Would the board like to have a presentation next month about a ferry across the Alawai? Or is that something we'd like to have in a committee to hear more about that? I'd really like to hear where the Department of Transportation is in all of this about the proposed bridge, honestly. But this idea, I mean, I don't want to, nix anything, but it seems like we may be. Yeah, go ahead.
Wouldn't it have to be in conjunction working with the city? I mean, you can't just have a
Right,
ferry
right.
out of nowhere.
But we can pass a resolution, it's for the city. I mean, just to sit up a little straighter, but our resolutions don't carry any weight.
Laura, this is Angie. I'm
Yes,
curious if the Ala Moana board or the Waikiki board have taken any action or further discussion on this idea.
I haven't gone to, thank you. I should go to the Ala Moana board also. I haven't, the Waikiki one is coming up next week, I think. And I'm going to the Makiki one and the Manoa one. And I did go to the Mo'iliili one also. And remember, this is aspirational. It's about, a transformative nature that basically will pay for itself, because you probably would use the holo card and just go across. And that would be the same way a bus would operate.
I wonder if it might bog us down in a regular meeting, and it might be a better place for a committee meeting to discuss this and flesh it out more properly than we could give, and then consider a resolution. But other folks, maybe, yes, Ms. Matson?
That's a big issue. And it has competition from this Ala Non Pono Bridge. And I did want to mention that I have received a report that there is a request for input on a project to build student housing in Waikiki at right on the Mauka side of the intersection of Kapilani and Kuhio, which is very close to where or closely accessible to where the big the behemoth footings and view blocking bridge is proposed. This appears to be a way to get more students into Waikiki to ride their bicycles over the bridge. And the question is, why are students in Waikiki? All the educational facilities like Appealing Community College, other important educational institutions, they're not in Waikiki. So this begs for the question of what is going on and how this is being handled. And a ferry would actually serve the residents. It would serve our visitors. And it would be a way to transport a lot of people instead of a few.
Would you be willing to have a committee meeting on this first to hear more about
I
it?
believe it is up to the Traffic and Transportation Committee.
Okay, and we will get to that later, but
And I will certainly join on that.
okay. I think for just now, Laura, I appreciate that idea and concern, but I will ask the Traffic and Transportation Committee to take that up because it seems like it needs a lot more time than we can give to it in our board meetings. And essentially, we should have a thorough update from the city, and maybe Mr. Crookey can take that back about this, specifically the proposed bridge. So
The
proposed
person in
bridge.
the chair of the transportation committee will contact me as soon as you've made the appointment for the meeting.
Yes, and that's Margaret Murchie. So we can look at that later, but I think that's more appropriately developed in a committee. So for right now, thank you for bringing that to our attention, and also keeping us focused on the bridge itself. Yes, we're still under community concerns. Are there any other folks online? With your mic.
Cultural Surveys is doing has requested input on the restoration of the historic Alawai boathouse, which is long overdue. And it appears there's going to be great care taken with the restoration, taking some of the newer elements out and relocating some elements, and absolutely restoring that historic boathouse to its original beauty and condition. The main thing, of course, is the roof that's been caving in. It's been patched over the years, and there's going to be special attention to restoring that as it was designed.
Thank you for that. There's no other community concerns. I don't see any here or there except Bruce Wong.
I just want to make the announcement that on July 17th, there'll be a property tax committee meeting at the Kaimiki Library at 5 o'clock. And that's a Friday, and that's the only day I could get. So, but anybody's welcome to attend to that. And if you need more information, please contact me.
Okay, Friday at 5 and
Friday at 5
next week.
July 17th.
Okay, and it's at for the entrance it's going to be on the Mauka side of the library in sort of the lower floor.
Yeah, downstairs.
Where the parking lot is. Okay, thank you for having that, Bruce. Okay, and with that, then I guess we can move on to our
Can I bring
mayor's.
something up?
Yes, sir. Is that Kendrick?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I don't know if Renee Espial is on the Zoom or not, from the city, or maybe Anton can address this. But on April 22nd, there was a head-on collision on Diamond Head Road, and about 3 people went to the hospital via ambulance. And I was wondering if what the status of the speed humps and raised crosswalk at Coconut and Diamond Head Road, and along Diamond Head Road, what's the status of that?
Okay, that's maybe a question for Mr. Crookey that he can ask later. Thank you, Kendrick.
Or if Renee from DTS is on Zoom.
No, she is not.
Nobody from DTS. Okay.
Kendrick, sorry, this is Angie. Do you have her email?
I do.
Okay, because she's very quick to reply.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
because if not, I was going to give it.
And Kendrick, what time was that accident?
That was it was in the afternoon around 2 o'clock on April 22nd, Wednesday.
That says a lot because it was.
I have
midday.
the video and pictures of the accident.
Okay, thank you. With that, I think, Mr. Crucky, we are ready for you. So it's Mayor Rick Blangiardi's representative, Director Anton Crucky. Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Chair, board members, Anton Crucky, Department of Community Services, City and County of Honolulu. Arlene, if you send me a note on those 3 projects, I'll get a status and timeline. They're available for you. I'll run that down. In the mayor's newsletter this month, some of the highlights I think that would be of interest to point out to you that a former Smithsonian National Zoo director has been hired to lead the zoo here. So that's the National Zoo in Washington. He's quite a great guy. He comes here because his family was here, and he came back here. He's just recently the ambassador to Australia, and this guy is pumped up. So I think it'll be good things for the zoo going forward. We're pretty excited about that. Also, there's changes in leadership in the managing director's office. Managing Director Designate Krishna Jairam, who was the DMD, has been designated by the mayor to take that position, and he's going through confirmation process right now. And the DMD is Ian Shearing, who was in the comms office. So he's taken over that position. I think those are the key ones, but you can always find the mayor's newsletter at honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. And I think there's copies over there as well. There is an announcement from DTS that vis-a-vis City Council Ordinance 2432, that they'll be lowering the speed limits in schools from 25 to 20 miles an hour during the hours of 6 to 6. It really involves a tremendous amount of signage change and work, so it will take some time to work through the process. They'll also be contacting people that have other than city-owned areas, roadways for the schools, about 1,000 feet away from the schools where the signs will start, but it'll take them quite some time and expense to do all this signage. But anyway, that's underway as we talk. Again, I always emphasize for a lot of the questions that you might have, try 311. And if for some reason after a few days you don't get a reply, call me or email me at anton.crucky@honolulu.gov, and I'll follow it up for you. But the 311 app is excellent because it tracks, and then we're all measured on the tracking. So there is a system behind that. I'd like to go through the follow-up from your last month's questions. Most of them have to do with DTS or parks, but that would make sense given the major park that we have here in the roadways. But the Pocky Avenue stop signs, Michelle Matson received serious concern about the unofficial stop signs on Noella Street and Pocky Avenue, instructing the drivers, and can the city share information about stop signs in that area? And DTS's response is they recently installed the signs on Pocky Avenue that stop here for pedestrians. And I think if I recall the conversation, it was the traffic that was being built up because people assumed it was a stop sign. And these aren't stop signs. These are for pedestrians and for pedestrian safety. And so, they're back away from the street. It's just drivers' habits, but at the same time, pedestrian safety is very important. So it's a combination of those. It's a very widely used tool around the island. And so the Department of Transportation really intends to keep that there at this point.
I have a comment on that later.
Go ahead.
That is at an intersection, and the signs are right at the intersection on the street, which confuses the drivers, and they think they need to stop because it has a stop sign symbol on it. And it's not a regulation stop sign. And the traffic backs up because people get confused. They slow down, they stop, and they're in the middle of the intersection and they stop because they don't see a pedestrian on either side. So it's not a good solution. And also Kapilani Park signage, if that's just signage, you have to look at the trust and signage regulations, because you know, slapping up signs for every bit of I guess desired use is something I think the trustees would have to look at. And by the way, whatever happened to the ocean safety issue with the managing director's office?
You have something else? You weren't going to reply to her first part?
Go ahead, Pixie. Laura said.
I do like the idea of having a stop sign there. I have seen local drivers just blow right through, even when there was a person in the crosswalk. I wish there'd been a police officer there. The sign is across the street from where the stop sign is. That's one of the confusion parts. I've seen other signs similar to this, like in Chinatown, that are simpler. It has, you know, stop and an arrow pointing to the crosswalk. I don't know if that would help that and put that right before the crosswalk instead of across the street from it. Because I think about that a lot, because I drive through there a lot.
I have a comment. I've made this comment several times before, but you know, those raised crosswalks, they all work. And so if you want traffic to slow down, just put in raised crosswalks. And my best example is Kalihi Street, right in front of Kalakaua Intermediate. And you drive there and people used to speed through there, but they have about 5 raised crosswalks, and it slows everybody down. They don't even need police over there anymore. Everybody slows. So to me, that's the solution.
You know, it's funny how one solution for one person is not a solution for another, but the Department of Transportation reviews that in a comprehensive way in their complete streets and everything. But, you know, the director is open to meet with the Transportation Committee at their offices, and we can compile these things and do. But, you know, signage for stopping for crosswalks is addresses one thing, and there's usually something else that is on the other side of that issue. So you asked last week for them to look into it, and they did look into it, and that was their reply. But he is open, because I sit next to him in cabinet, and I talk to him about this board all the time, and he's very open to meet with the Transportation Committee and go through these items. And along Diamond Head for the previous one, you know, the whole signage and the hump in Diamond Head and everything else has been reviewed at that committee from your committee. And so, you know, there's forever more things to do, but he is willing to listen and being open to the members of the committee.
And since we're on traffic and transportation, not to be tough, but I'm kind of like a traffic cop. So if you could address things to me, then I'm supposed to put them in order, addressing the chair, just as a general. This was an easy one, but we won't always have as easy as topics of this. So I don't know if you were finished, sir, with your presentation or not, and if you wanted to finish that before you entertain other questions.
I still have like 5 more of your questions to go through, Chair. Okay, and I can come back to the other one that was just asked. The traffic bus, Daisy Marai, raised concerns about buses on Route 2 breaking down and requested an increase in bus frequency. Also, when will newer buses replace the older ones on Route 2 and 3? And the response was Route 2 and 2L are among all bus routes that may have vehicle maintenance issues on rare occasions. The public may observe those issues more because those are frequent routes, and there they come every 10 to 30 minutes and are frequently seen. Because of bus operator labor shortage, an increase in bus frequency is not possible at this time. The usage of newer buses is not prioritized for a specific route. This is dependent on availability and the needs of the operations. Thus, there are no specific times when Route 2 and 2L will have new buses operating. The next question was directed to DTS as well, which is regarding the Beaky bike share system, and what is the operating status of the system in number of active station bikes and operating cost and revenue, and can DTS share data on the Beaky stations in Diamond Head, Kapahulu, St. Louis Heights area? Many Beaky stations do not have bikes. Will the city consider removing underused Beaky stations, adding electric bikes, integrating the Holu card system with Beaky, and introducing electric scooter rentals? And the city has entered into an agreement with the Secure Bike Share Hawaii, which is SBSH, to continue to provide Beaky bike share services. I know that the director testified in council recently on this issue. There has been some maintenance issues. They've had vandalism and such in these things, and so they're trying to create a new contract and secure additional money to upgrade the system. And there was a lot of damage during the Kona low storms to the system as well. DTS believes that it will be able to restore its bike inventory, and Beaky will continue to be a viable multimodal transit option. The DTS is committed to providing bike share services, and this company will continue to operate as a private contractor to the city. In terms of the statistics, Beaky has approximately 600 active bikes across 120 stations, and any cost revenue questions should be directed to the SBSH and on their website. They should be contacted for any other information regarding operations, and we will, as a city, continually monitor Beaky station use and evaluating station locations. Holu card integration, e-bikes, electric scooters, as well as Skyline connections have all been discussed for future operations. Member Samuel Roseman raised concerns about illegal parking on Wyndham Avenue. And also, can the city install no parking signs along Wyndham Avenue? Can HPD enforce parking ordinance and issue citations to illegally parked cars along Wyndham Avenue, especially between Kapahulu and Duval Streets? There are reports of vehicles parking too close to crosswalks, intersections, and fire hydrants. From HPD, between May 29th and June 28th, District 7, East Honolulu Patrol conducted checks on the avenue between Kapahulu and Duval Streets. During these checks, officers issued 4 parking citations and recovered 1 vehicle that was reported stolen. As usual, HPD says call 911 when you see these violations, and they'll react. Department of Transportation has issued a paint and sign work order to the Department of Facility Maintenance to install additional no parking signs on Wyndham Avenue between Mohea Street and Ho'oulu Street. And for status of those updates, you can contact DFM at 808-768-3622. This one is for DPR, and this is the Kool-Aid Cliffs. What is the Adopt a Bark program status of the relationship between the city and the Cliffs 501c? And does the city plan to upgrade the water line at the Cliffs in the Diamond Head area? And there is no legal agreement between the city and individual organizations to maintain the city parks. And what is the position of DPR, HPD, and DPP to address unilateral physical damages to that location? And so right now, there are currently no Adopt a Park agreement with the Cliffs nonprofit. The city has approached the group on numerous occasions. However, they have not responded to the proposal to in adopting a park. DPR is looking into the feasibility of adding a booster pump to the existing water system, and currently discussions with Hawaiian Electric to reestablish electric power in that area. And I think Director Laura Thielen testified that to you in a previous meeting. HPD, regarding the Cliffs in the Diamond Head area, HPD's role is limited to the enforcement of applicable laws and ordinances related to public safety, criminal activity, trespassing, vandalism, and destruction of property. Questions regarding authorization, maintenance agreements, and volunteers really does not come under them. Again, if there's violations that you see up there, call 911. And finally, Diamond Head cleanup and Kapiolani Park proposal. Vice Chair Arlene Velasco asked for an update on the Kapiolani proposal from DPR, including the community garden pathway and the courts and fitness. And so I've just asked if we would communicate on that, and I will get back to you. And we did, the gentleman left, but we did cover the red curb issue that we worked on. That's my prepared report, Chair.
Thank you very much, Director Cookie. And now, if there are other questions for Director Cookie, Ms. Knight.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. I have a question about the school zones. This might seem like a very simple question, but is that including the private schools as well and UH?
Yes, it does include those from my understanding and reading that ordinance, but they are secondary in the implementation. The priority is the public schools to start with.
Can I ask a follow-up? Okay, and then for those school zones as well, we have a lot of speeders that don't like to stop at the stop sign near some of our elementary schools. For those who are installing the signs, are they just purely doing signage, or are they also taking those comments as well?
No, this is really regarding a reaction to an ordinance passed on
Okay.
lowering the speed limit. So that's what it is.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
And Ms. St. Dennis.
Hi, thank you for coming. I went to the disaster planning meeting and got all kinds of great information that I would like to share later. One of the things that concerned me, Kauai already has determined places that people can go if a hurricane should come this year. And I asked if we have that on Oahu. Because I think people do ask neighborhood board people for information like this. So I would like to, to be ready with that information. I know they told me at that meeting, Jarrett and Kaimaki Intermediate, and I asked the principal at Waikiki, and he said they are Red Cross certified. He didn't, so I have to get back to him whether they would be a place to go if there was, if something happened.
So in regards to shelters and emergencies, it's kind of a complex issue. And in the Kona low storms was the first time, because in a hurricane, what has been previously practiced, and we're trying to adjust this, is that as a hurricane approaches, there's some sort of cut time where you go, okay, we're going to close the schools, because many of the shelters are schools. And so you have to close the schools. And so DOE has to make a determination at some point in time. Closing a school is a big deal. Economically, for the people that work, that have kids in a school, it's complex. And then in the Kona low storm, we said, well, this storm's going to come. Can we get people out of the areas where they're most exposed? And so then we use parks, and parks is a much better solution. So we've got 3 or 4 parks that we know we can turn into shelters in the upcoming hurricane, and then schools as a next step. But we can move people early. One of the issues that happen, though, is the people that really want to get out of the way of the storms are folks that are unsheltered. And then people have issues being in a shelter with people that are from the unsheltered community. And Red Cross has issues, and Salvation Army has issues with dealing with people that are from the unsheltered community because they're not trained to do that. And so my organization staffed all the shelters this time because DCS, along with service providers, can deal with people that are unsheltered. But we also have the issues of the community people that may or may not want to be in those shelters. We are reviewing that. We have a group reviewing that. We have long-term recovery groups being formed. So all of those are, but they're not, easily solvable. Like you make one decision here and there's a contrary reaction over here. So, but I think there's at least acknowledgement of the issues and trying to get ahead of it. And having the parks as an establishment of initial shelters is very helpful, because you can then declare that shelter a day ahead of time, right? That it's going to be open, it's going to have these hours, and we're going to man it. We had shelters that were heavily used that we manned. We had other large shelters that during Kona low that didn't get used. So we're also looking at the demand levels, because we have to pay people to work the shelters. So yes, it's a very important thing, and you want to be doing the planning now, not in the midst of a storm.
And questions? Yes, is that Kendrick or Belinda Wong?
Thank you. Is there any timeline on that, maybe putting that booster for the water at Kui Lake Cliffs?
I can check with Laura on that.
That would be terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And again, it has to do also with Hawaiian Electric, because there's a power issue to do that.
Any other questions? I did have a couple follow-up ones. You know, now there's 3 burned out houses on Date between Kapahulu and the river. A new one burned up at on oh, whatever street that is. It's 2 in. Because I'm just wondering what's the city's policy on that? Removing those, and how does that happen? Because these 2 have been there for, I think, the better part of 10 years. That is close to the school. That's quite close to the high school playing ground. So that's one question. Another one that I had was about the disaster preparedness, because as I understand it, we don't have any public structures that are actually hurricane, I would say proof, but even just to a category that would be pretty serious. And you know, it's a larger question that we can solve here, but maybe that's something when we get together with the Serene people or Angie's committee of disaster preparedness. It's just like these larger questions really beg a response, because you know, we've ducked so many there. But I'd like to know what where do we go in the event of a Category 5 in this neighborhood? Where do we go? How do we tell people that have a single wall construction where to evacuate to? So these are real questions that I don't think the public really knows how to have an answer to. Yeah, those are a couple comments that I had about that sort of weigh on my mind as I go through and think, what would we do if we actually got hit straight on?
Yeah. I am not familiar with that first question, those issues, so I'll have to look that up. And, you know, if we capture that correctly, then I'll be able to do that.
And could you ask DTS to come and give us an update about the bridge? And I don't know if they want to do it in a committee or for our board, but or the proposed bridge, as well as if they have other items that's going on in our neighborhood. And finally, the question I had was, if we're lowering the speed limits within that radius of schools, maybe the city could pass something that says we don't have to have 2 signs, because it's 20 now, but it's 20, 25 after 6. Like maybe we could just say, let's just make it 20 and call it a day. So why confuse people to go suddenly faster at 6:01? You know, I don't know.
Well, the ordinance was pretty specific, so they're kind of following the ordinance. Maybe there could be an amendment to it.
Maybe Mr. Waters
Chair
can deal
can
with
talk
that.
about that.
Okay. And yes, Ms. Swan.
I used to be a school food service manager, retired, and some of the schools know they're tapped for disaster. If a disaster were to happen and they needed to feed people, those cafeterias know that they might be called on for that.
Yeah. No, the schools are ready. It's the declaration that the school's closing and they're open for disaster relief. The thing is if you wait too long, you're in the middle of the problem, right? And it's a tricky wicket, you know, that you're dealing with. I think we've helped the system though by having 4 park locations that we know that we have. The city knows they have, not waiting for the DOE to open those. But it was a great question to say this area. So I'd like to, maybe I can get a layout of that and present that to you next month. Or maybe I could send it to you, because we're in the middle of hurricane season. So let me get that and I'll send it to the chair and let him distribute it.
Thank you. And we can post that. And Angie?
Yeah, I just had a quick comment on parks. If for consideration, if you could look at Kaimuki Community or Palolo District as opposed to Manoa, which is very rainy. And if there was a very large disaster and trees fell down, that area already has a lot of concerns for how many exits. So just in the different considerations for shelters, maybe Palolo District, maybe Kaimuki, because there's multiple avenues out. Thanks.
You have to have the building, right?
Kaimuki does.
Yeah.
ACC. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. Then thank you so much.
Thank you
Mr.
for the hard
Crucky.
work.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thank
all
you
you
very much.
do.
Nice to see everybody.
Yeah, thank you. And with that, we have Council Chair Waters in person, and welcome to our neighborhood board, sir.
Aloha Chair, aloha members. You know, as your council chair, my duties are vast and wide. including in charge of 171 employees, the city clerk's office, the city Office of Council Services, as well as council administrative services. And it's stressful. But one of the best parts of the job is recognizing folks in our community who have made an impact in our local, national, and international community. So with your indulgence, I have 3 awards to give tonight. First, as the longest serving member of the Diamond Head-Kapahulu-St. Louis Neighborhood Board, you have demonstrated sustained commitment to civic engagement and community advocacy. You have also served as board vice chair, board secretary, contributing leadership, continuity, and thoughtful stewardship across multiple terms of service. Your many years of service reflect a deep commitment to strengthening community voices and improving quality of life for residents. The Honolulu City Council is pleased to honor Michelle Matson.
I don't believe it.
You're very welcome.
Uh,
Here you go. I have 2 more.
Oh, good. I'm not alone.
Well, there are many distinguished members of this board, and I'd like to honor all of you, but tonight I picked out 3 special people. Next, through your years of commitment, you have served in multiple leadership roles, including chair, vice chair, and treasurer. Your steady leadership and financial stewardship have supported the board's effectiveness and continuity over many years of service. And you continued your commitment in public service by accepting an appointment to fill a vacant seat in September 2025, further demonstrating your dedication to the community. Your longstanding contributions have strengthened the board and the neighborhood you serve. Linda Wong. And lastly, in grateful recognition of your 8 years of dedicated service on the Diamond Head Kapahulu-St. Louis Neighborhood Board, including your leadership as chair since 2023, through your advocacy for local residents and your leadership as executive director of the Outdoor Circle, you have helped preserve Hawaii's unique environment and improve the quality of life for our community. Your service has made a lasting and meaningful impact on the city and county of Honolulu. The Honolulu City Council is pleased to honor Winston Welch, chair of the neighborhood board. You know, I really appreciate all of your service on the neighborhood board. I was a neighborhood board member back in 1987. You know, I'm dating myself. I was on the Kailua neighborhood board, and it was a really wonderful experience. But it takes a lot of work, and you can tell how dedicated you all are. So thank you for your years of service. I have a really short presentation. Linda Wong took me and my staff to go look at this monster home in Diamond Head. And it was 3 stories tall, and there was this really, really awkward thing on the top of it. So I pulled the plans. I just got them today. That's what I promised to do. And I'm going to review it with an architect friend to see whether or not they actually have followed the law. I've been able to shut down a couple monster homes in the community so far by doing this exact thing, because sometimes it slips by through DPP. So I promised you I'd do it, Linda, and I have it. And if you like, I can make a copy for you, but I hope, yeah, but this is my only copy now. So let me make a copy for you, and we can meet again and go through it. But I want to talk with our architect to see if they actually follow the law. Because if anybody goes down there and looks at it, it's really, really big. Yeah. Um, the other thing I wanted to talk about, I know you have on your agenda, talking about resurfacing the tennis courts at Diamond Head. And I have a meeting with Laura Thielen on July 22nd to discuss that. I went down and checked out the courts and they're in really bad shape. I know, is Mr. Graves here? Oh, hi. Yeah. Because I wanted to meet with Laura Thielen first, Mr. Graves, before we talk about converting some of the tennis courts to pickleball. The United States Tennis Association was willing to donate money to the city to repave the courts. And at this point, the city needs to look that gift over and figure out a way to accept the gift. But I wanted to meet with the director first and then meet with you guys on the pickleball side, just so that we're all on the same page. But I wanted to do my homework first before we make any commitment. But anyway, I'm available for questions. That's all I have tonight.
Ms. Metzen?
The two items, the Monster House between Noella and I believe it's Kanaina Street or Avenue. I did get this information from Linda, and I did speak with the inspector, the DPP inspector for this area, who actually came over to approve a building permit I had and close it. And I got her name and number because this had just come up. I didn't hear back from her when I emailed her. And I'm just wondering, it appears that DPP has given the owner developer a permit to build this thing. So why hasn't the inspector, who I felt was extremely efficient and responsive, why hasn't the inspector been allowed to go over there? And who's controlling this project at DPP that this should happen?
Yeah. My answer would be speculation, right? I can't answer that.
Well, no, those are questions
Yeah.
that you can say.
Yeah,
we're
no,
out
and
of it.
you look at the plans, it says approved, right? So
Yeah.
obviously it was approved.
The other thing is Diamond Head tennis courts.
Mhm.
The tennis players would be squeezed out with pickleball. And I'll ask the questions later. But I know those courts and I know how much activity there is there. And so that would be a grave concern because of the noise of pickleball so close to the residential area. And anyway, we'll go into that later.
Yeah, I noticed it. It's on your agenda. Yeah. Thank you.
Can I ask other questions for council member? Yes, Bruce, I'm sorry, Kendrick.
Councilman Waters, I was wondering if there's anything you can do to help expedite the traffic calming measures on Diamond Head Road. Diamond Head Road and Diamond Head State Monument serves the entire island. So we have tourists and locals coming from all over the island to recreate at the beach. They jog, they run, they bike, the entire crater. And we've just had numerous accidents from speeding. And we're just wondering what you can help to do to expedite
Sure.
getting this project done. I know they said when they do repave Diamond Head Road, they do plan to add speed humps and a raised crosswalk at Coconut Avenue as well.
Well, you might notice there is a new stop sign there.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
very helpful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I got to thank the Department of Transportation Services. They did expedite that. That happened pretty quickly. They have a really fantastic engineer that's really supportive of the community. And she's come out there on numerous occasions.
Is that Kelly?
Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you met with Kelly?
Yes,
She's
we met
fantastic.
with her. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe we can get her out here on another occasion, but looks like you have a lot of other pressing board business, but I'll ask Kelly if she can come out.
Yeah, it's
and-
not, it's not just the people in the neighborhood, but everybody goes there, tourists, and I have friends that come from different parts of the island just to surf or jog or walk.
I can't understand why people go so fast. That's the number one issue that my office gets. Speeding. The number one issue everywhere, everywhere in the district. And my district's huge, right? It's from Hawaii Kai to Waikiki, and that's the number one issue.
Well, it's a really nice road. I have to admit, when I was in high school, when I got my driver's license, it was a fun road to drive fast on. So I understand. I'm a sinner too. You know what I mean? So I need help. Right?
Yeah.
Signs just don't do it. You need like obstacles to slow you down.
Yeah, somebody mentioned those humps. Those things are great because you can go 25 miles an hour over those things, and your car goes right over it. But if you go anything over 25, it jostles your car and it's super uncomfortable. Yeah, it's really cool about those humps that initially we wanted speed bumps everywhere, and fire department, ambulance would complain that you can't have these. After the unfortunate death on Kapiolani Boulevard, something switched, both at the state level and the city level, and now they're totally in support of these humps. And the humps are better than the bumps too because they don't make as much noise, right? That's going to be the hard part about Diamond Head Road. Whose house do we put it in front of, right? Because it is a little noisy.
Well, what's worse, that sound or the sound of a moped or motorcycle racing through there at 80 miles per hour?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we hear it every night.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
No, I'm
Yeah.
with you on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Understand.
Thank you. And Angie, you have a question? Oh, Bruce Wong?
Yeah, I just have one question for you.
Sure.
Did the city, I brought this up before, but did the city ever consider converting the driving range, which is underused, into a softball complex, a real first-class softball complex?
Oh.
Now, I'm a golfer,
Yeah.
so my friends would be really teed off with me, but it's really underused. And so it'll just take some configuration and you can use the same maintenance people at the golf course and create a really first-class softball complex. And then you have the hotels right here. And I go to Vegas all the time. And so there's always softball tournaments going on. And then we can have the same thing here in Honolulu. So,
Yeah.
but this would be a perfect spot right here.
Well, we definitely have a shortage of ball fields. Even for the kids, oh my gosh, you should see the fighting that's going on right now between the various leagues for softball and baseball diamonds. It's really, really competitive. We got to find new space. That's gonna cause a big uproar though, but I'll let you and the chair work that out. If you guys want to make a resolution and support, remember the Diamond Head Neighborhood Board meeting over Top Golf? Right in this room. There's about 400 people in here and they were yelling at each other and swearing at each other. I think that might happen again, if we were to propose that. But one of the things the mayor's talked about is reconverting Stadium Park back to a baseball diamond where you could have tournaments like that. But we got to talk to Scott Nishimoto about that. That's not my district, it'd be his district, but that's being discussed. Had you heard anything about that, Anton? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. The golf course is under the Department of Enterprise Services versus Parks.
Also, E2 preservation.
Yeah.
Okay. And
But I'll leave that up to the board. So to answer your question directly, no, we haven't discussed that. But I am looking for space to do baseball fields, and I think Stadium Park might be perfect for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just have a quick question/comment. Recently you introduced the bill that would reduce the registration costs for cars.
Yes.
I was curious if you considered introducing a tax credit for bus riders without cars.
Oh.
So that they would also have some incentive, because I know a lot of our issues, especially because we have a lot of speeders, we also have a lot of congestion. And it would encourage more usage of the bus as well if there's a tax credit.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll work with you on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got something in the mail from you the other day, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
And Margaret?
Margaret Murchie.
Hey there. I was going to talk about the two big accidents I saw today, but I don't want to be a total Debbie Downer, but there was a big one right in front of Leonard's. Huge, that closed off all the streets. It was about, I don't know why I called Curtis. It was just about the time we were trying to get to the meeting. That there was one on Kapiolani and the big one, big, huge one. I don't know what happened, but it was like they closed off all the streets right around Safeway. Anyway, so that was kind of what Winston's been warning about that for a long time, and he actually had some sort of race, something there, but it's really busy. And then when I was doing that, I was thinking, Ticketmaster. You know, the city has signed a contract, so you can't even like go down to the Blaisdell now to buy a ticket. Did you know that? And
I wasn't aware of that.
And they're also like all of the swiping machines are from Ticketmaster that the city uses, and sometimes they don't work. And I know that it was what's her name? Our friend, the blonde. She got a lot of heck because of I don't know, they weren't selling tickets properly with the night of the event. Or was the big circus thing, and that was just recent, right? And on that, the Ticketmaster was saying that all the tickets were sold, the event was over, and yeah, I mean, it was kind of dumb, and that's just recent. And we hate Ticketmaster, but you used to be able to just go down to the Blaisdell, which is not convenient, but not have to pay their big service charges too. And you never know how much it's going to be until you get to the part where you pay.
I just
It
turned
could be
to
$100.
Director Rucky, who informed me that you still can go down and buy your tickets in person.
Well, that's not what they said in the article.
You're saying
But
the
still.
resale market is still a big issue, but happy to look into
Yeah.
that for you.
And when I was in Hamilton, they had a big lineup in the hot sun because the swiping machines weren't working, and that happened in the Shell too. So we shouldn't be using them.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thanks.
I had a couple of questions. Or right down here, I know it's one of the most dangerous districts or places in the city between Kalakaua and Alawai on that stretch of Kapahulu. And I was talking with I think the vice chair of Catherine Henske, and she was saying the way the buses park now, that they're and I saw this, that they're blocking people that are walking across the street, and a lot of the times the tourists don't think cars can hit them, I think, so they just dart out in front. They're on vacation, they're not really paying attention, and so but the buses do block vision, so when you're coming up the street, oftentimes the sun's right in your eyes and you can't see a tourist even if they're paying attention. They walk out in the street, they can't see around the bus either. We should look at moving those buses further up Kapahulu so that it's just not in that area, especially between Kalakaua and Kuhio, and maybe moving them farther up the street, and perhaps just getting rid of parking on the side of the zoo. It's not a lot of spaces, but something that could help with that area right there, because it's really a free for all right in front of in the zoo there. So it's just a danger waiting to happen. Well, I mean, it just is dangerous. We know that. So that was one question I had for you, and then the other one was about the burned out houses, and that's probably Scott's district, but you know what the policy of the city is on taking away those. And the third one that I had was, I was talking with fire department, and I noticed a couple of houses that when I'm walking around, they're hoarder houses, and there's absolutely no way, like they're dangerous for our first responders if they had to go in a fire, but also for the neighbors. And they said they weren't aware of any laws that we have about that. I was just wondering if that's something that the council might address. And
No, there are laws on the books already, and those folks have been cited. I can't speak to any particular one, but there was a house in Kamaki that racked up about $500,000 in fines. We finally got, there's some sort of mental illness going on, right? But we finally got the person to clean up. But back then, Dean Uchida was the director of Department of Permitting and Planning, and he went to the legislature to ask for non-judicial foreclosures, right? So that if somebody's really going to just rack up all these fines and they're not going to pay it, you could foreclose on the house and then pay off the fine with the sale of the house. But to do that, currently, you have to go through court, and it's really expensive. And Corporation Council, my understanding is, doesn't want to do that because ultimately the city would be the last on the lien to get paid, and they would be the one covering the court costs. So what Mr. Uchida tried to do is get the legislature to say, hey, look, in certain instances, allow us to do a non-judicial foreclosure. But people got really upset about that, really, really upset, and it didn't pass in the legislature.
okay.
But it'd be up to the legislature, it wouldn't be up to us to do that.
Okay, thank you very much, and we appreciate you coming in person as well. And
course.
with that, we just a quick time check that we're about 8:10. So we've got a couple of presentations coming up in our other representatives.
Okay,
but
thank you, Chair.
yeah,
It's been a long day. I'm gonna continue the rest of the board meeting on my phone if that's okay. But I'll be on for questions if you need me.
okay,
Okay, and I want to listen to Mr. Graves'
Yeah.
presentation
okay.
amongst others. But thank you, guys. Appreciate you all.
Thank you
Aloha.
very much. And Linda Wong, go ahead.
Okay,
Just shortly.
sure.
I appreciated your bills on the that we have printed on our property tax committee.
Oh, yeah.
I actually put in one for the committee that people that have a rental would be relieved of their tax because you need something to pay for all the property taxes. You do need some kind of extra income for that. So I was really glad to see some of this relief for taxpayers, especially people over 65. So I would have to see what owner occupant these definitions actually what it pans out to in money, right? Like low income housing, and you know how that goes.
So thank you very much for
Yeah.
bringing this up. So there's two bills that I introduced, raising your homeowner's exemption for kupuna or 65 and older from 180 to 200,000,
Right.
which would be about $70 savings, right? But what I'm trying to do is take into account every year your property values go up, and therefore your property taxes go up. But we keep the property tax rate the same, $3.50 for every $1,000 of value. But still, your property taxes go up. So one of the ways we could do that is increase your homeowner's exemption. So when I started, the homeowner's exemption was $80,000, right, for everyone. For kupuna, I think it was 100. So over the years, we've been bumping it up. So I want to even double it. So 200,000 for kupuna, and then 180 for everybody else to try to, save money for everyone.
There's got to be some relief somewhere because you need something extra just to live in Hawaii now,
Right.
especially with all the inflation.
Right.
I mean, it's, a loaf of bread's $10, but
Yeah.
what's that,
Yeah. I mean, every little bit helps. That's why with
it does.
your car registration, we pay much, much higher than every other neighbor island does. A bill died in the legislature where they tried to make them all the same. Of course, it would have cost the city and county about $134 million if that bill passed. However, that doesn't mean that we can't lower it a little bit, right? So, like I said, every little bit helps. So take a look at Bill 45, 46, and 47 that I introduced a week ago.
Tommy, just to add to that, people come here from other places and they pay $1 million over asking price. That happened on my street. Then our properties are taxed on the average of the higher values, the sales, and we're stuck having lived there for 30 or more years with huge taxes.
And maybe that's something we could bring up next week in Bruce's property tax committee at 5 at the
Why don't we
Yeah.
ask
Kamuki
Tommy
Library.
to come? What?
Yeah, I want to
Why
try
don't
to
we
make
ask
it, but
Tommy to come?
that day is
Friday.
really, really tough for me.
It's a big
I'll
two.
come to your
Kamuki
next one.
Library.
No, that
Thank-
next
yeah.
Friday is
Thank you very
a big
much.
day.
Yeah.
You may or may not know what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Tommy.
When
Okay,
is the
and-
testimony due for these bills?
Oh, so we just passed first reading.
Okay.
They're gonna go
Thank you.
to the budget committee.
Yeah, I
And
know.
that should be at the end of the month. So we got time. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
definitely
okay.
comment.
Aloha. Good to see you all.
Thank you.
Chair.
Okay, and with that, we have Councilmember Scott Nishimoto. I don't believe he's here, but Taylor is here, you said? Go ahead, Taylor. Online?
Hi. Aloha, Chair. This is Taylor from Councilmember Scott Nishimoto's office. Thank you, folks, for having us here today. We'll just echo on the back of what Chair Waters has said, and just wanted to let you folks know that the budget did come out, and we have like a bunch of budget allocations for this district. Such as like the Alawai Golf Course, replacement of the irrigation system, along with a bunch of things in Palolo, Alawai Park, and throughout the district. So we've sent that out via our e-blast, and we'll share it with you folks. But I'm happy to take any comments back to my boss, and we'd love to hear from you folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. Are there questions for the council member's office? Yes, sir.
Hello, my name's Andrew Pompsavon for the record. Hi, Taylor.
Oh, hi,
Um,
Andrew.
Hi, I just had one thing. So on coming out of St. Louis Heights on the corner of Wailai and St. Louis Drive, there is a no right turn on red onto Wailai Ave, but it's one of those no right turn on red except for on the right lane after a stop. And it's one of those situations where the cars coming in from your right that you have to look out for actually have their own lane that they're in, and which is totally fine. People can wait to make that stop. But for residents who have been living there for like decades, they kind of already know that that lane is their own. So people just honk for the cars that actually do stop, or they kind of just take the right turn on red as a suggestion and they just go because they know the lane is already clear. So I just wanted to maybe kind of note that for you and have DTS come check it out to see if there's any more stricter signs that we can put on there, whether it's a no turn at all, or maybe if they can redraw the striping a little bit.
Oh, okay. No, thank you so much for flagging that for us. We'll go ahead and put in a riser and try to follow up with DTS on this. But yeah, I do know it's so coming down Wailai on St. Louis.
Yeah. So it's on the corner where like the City Mill is and the Vaughn's
Yeah.
Chicken. Yeah.
Yeah, that area I would imagine has a lot of
Accidents.
issues. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. And any other questions for Taylor? Yeah, Taylor, if you could just follow up on those three burned out houses on date between Kapahulu and the Kaimuki High School playing fields, that would be great.
What would you like us to follow up with? Just on the
Like,
like flagging
how
DPP on
many
it?
decades do we tolerate a burned out house on our street? Is it a hazard? Is it violation of code? It's a health hazard, and it's also lowers property values of the people right around it. So just what's the rules surrounding a burned out house? Does it need to be torn down or what?
Mm-hmm. Okay, no, thank you for making those points. I'll kind of investigate with DPP on what action looks like in that sense. Obviously, as you know, with things regarding private property, it takes a longer time for the city to implement action as it's not our property. But we can definitely look into what the rules entail regarding abandoned/burned houses. I know that a lot of them were used as like drug houses in the past, so we'll kind of look into that.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for coming tonight. And with that, we'll move on. I don't believe anyone's from Ed Case's office unless Keikoa is online. No, we could probably speed through these fairly much. And Ryan Aguilar maybe is online.
Hello, good evening, Chair and board members. Thanks so much. I'm here to just say that there's the July edition of the Calaho newsletter that I'll put in the chat. And if there are any questions that I can take back to the governor's communications team, I'd be happy to do that.
Questions for the governor's representative? Okay, seeing. Oh, Arlene Velasco.
Yes, I do have a question. Recently, ICE has been known to be targeting people with their vehicles, and then actually recently this week, a few people have been killed by ICE. So I'm very concerned about the presence of ICE in our community, and I'd like to know if they are doing the same thing in this community, and that what we can do to prevent our citizens from being shot.
And citizens and residents, humans. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, and with that, we appreciate you coming and staying, Ryan. And relatively light questions here. Stanley Chang's office. We do not see anybody today. Les told me that he could not come today. He sends his regards. Carol Fukunaga, we just keep her on there because she does have a little slice of our territory. And Tina Grandinetti, are you online, Representative Grandinetti?
Hi, I'm not Representative Grandinetti, but I am her office manager. My name is Erin. Is everybody able to hear and see me? My camera is a bit frozen.
Okay, we can see.
Hi. Great. So there's a few things people have already mentioned about our disaster preparedness town hall. Thank you to everybody that had come out. We had about 50 attendees, which is great turnout. A lot of people got to learn more about hazards in our district, as well as 2 different programs to build community-based preparedness. One was already mentioned, Haima's Hawaii Hazard Preparedness Program and Serene's Resilience Hubs. I believe Sage Murakami is currently at the neighborhood board right now, who was able to touch on this. So we are looking to coordinate these programs in our district, but we do need community members who are willing to participate in trainings and work together on these programs. If you're interested, please feel free to reach out to our office. I'm able to access representatives' email, so if you just email her, I'm happy to assist. And if you missed our town hall, it will be featured on Olelo. The first broadcast date will be on the 15th at 6 p.m. It will be re-aired 3 more times afterwards, and we're still waiting on those dates. One other thing, representative is currently in Washington State at the moment. She is at the Legislative Energy Horizon Institute. She was nominated by House Speaker to learn more about energy grid policy from around the country. As energy costs rise for people in Hawaii, this is an important way to learn about best practices from other states and to see how they can be applied to here at home. So I'm here for questions if anybody needs anything. Again, my name is Erin.
Thank you, Erin. Welcome to our neighborhood board. And Ms. Matson?
Thank you, Erin. I was impressed with Representative's June newsletter, especially her comparisons on the first page of the goings on in the legislature. And I have two questions regarding the Diamond Head State Monument, $1 million for critical infrastructure needs. I'd like to know what infrastructure is receiving this money for improvement. And then secondly, LOI Watershed, $2.5 million for planning, design, and construction of a debris management system. That looks very interesting. We definitely need to clean up the LOI. So I think I would like to recommend that our board receive information on both of these things, or
Of course.
comprehensive information.
Yeah, of course.
Thank
I
you.
will look into both of these, into both Diamond Head State Monument and to the LOI Watershed debris. Yeah, I will look into those and I'll get back to you, Michelle.
The funding for both. Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, thank you very much, Aaron. And we look forward to seeing you in the future. Okay, and with that, I saw Jackson Sayama here. Hello, Representative Sayama. And welcome.
Good evening, Chair, members of the board. Jackson Sayama, State House Representative for District 21. We're still in recess, so we don't have a whole lot of updates from the Labor Committee. We do have an update from Department of Labor and Industrial Relations. They had secured a contract for the actuarial and legal analysis for the paid family leave policy. So that analysis should be done end of December, early January, prior to the next legislative session. So that should be a conclusive study about whether we have the fiscal capacity and the legal framework to have a paid family leave policy in Hawaii. So I'm personally looking forward to reading the conclusion of that report. But I'm available for questions if the board has any. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Are there any questions for Mr. Sayama? And if not, we know you've had a busy year and busy time right now, so we appreciate all that you do.
Yep, thank you.
And Mr. Olds, Ikaika Olds, our representative, are you online? And Andrew Garrett, the same. He has a tiny portion of our district, but we just leave him on there. Just to jump ahead here, we do have, so just cognizant of time, we have about a half an hour left, and I will just jump ahead and say, right now we have many candidates running for various offices. One is Representative Sayama and Leslie Hara. There was a very good civil beat I guess, interview with Chad Blair that I will refer people to, because we probably won't be having enough time to do a candidate forum ourselves. We could, but if that's so desired, we have a different meeting for that. And then also on Insights PBS, we had the representatives for this area, which was for the various people running on that one. And that was including our own Angie Knight and Andrew Pomsavan and the chair of the Pololo board, as well as the fellow who runs the Pololo Zen Center, and I can't remember their names. Maybe you can help me out there, as well as Derek Turbin. So that was on Insights Hawaii, I think just this last week. So also a good place to find out more about our candidates. Beyond that, of course, we'll have our next meeting here on the second Thursday on the 13th of August. Here, if you have anything for the board, please send it to me and copy Curtis. Other than that, we have a couple of presentations here, and I will ask folks to, try and be condense their thoughts here so that we can hopefully get to some of these other items on the agenda. It's a lot of going to be information. We're not going to solve anything here tonight. So these are presentations. There may be some sort of resolution that follows this. And finally, I would like to ask the board to look ahead at board business reconfirmation of form committees, if those are correct. And if there's any changes that need to be made, please let me know. And with that, I would like to invite up Duff's, Kapilani Nursery, construction and new administration building follow-up as a part of the EA special management. I think we've had presentation about this before, so it shouldn't be too terribly complicated. But if Joy, Desiree Joy, are you online?
Hi there, I'm actually Matt Lipper with Wilson Nakamoto Corporation, and I'm going to be presenting on her behalf tonight.
Go ahead.
I will share my screen. Okay. Alrighty. Go. Oh, okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Say it again.
Are you able to see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
I will.
If you can put it in presenter mode.
Yes. Let me see. It goes.
Matt, if you go to the top
Uh-huh.
left,
Got
like
you.
near where you put the save button.
Right here.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. My apologies. Alrighty. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for your opportunity to present this project to the board. My name is Matt Lipper, like I had said before, with Wilson Nakamoto Corporation, and I will be presenting the proposed new city and county administration building project, which is located at the existing Division of Urban Forestry Kapiolani nursery site. Also tonight, joining us is RMA Architects. If there are any questions concerning design-related issues, they can also answer those as well. And to start off, our overall agenda, I'll try to be brief as possible. We'll go through a quick overview of the project site, existing and surrounding uses, proposed project, previous work, and current site plans for the proposed new administration building. So to start off, the project site is located at tax map key TMK 13-10430001, constituting a portion of the site which is roughly over 3.4 acres. The new administration building will be replacing the current Kapulani Nursery building. Additionally, due to the current deteriorating state of the nursery building, the scope of work for this project focuses on replacing the structure with a new administration building that will provide various uses for this property. With these improvements are proposed, the current nursery will remain the same and not be impacted by this project. For existing and surrounding uses, this is a brief design plan that conditions planned that RMA had prepared for us, just overlying the existing uses and the proposed new development, which is highlighted in red. Additionally, the existing conditions plan exhibits the various surrounding uses that exist around the project site that includes the active plant nursery, tennis courts, and Kapulani Regional Park. Future development plans are also included to describe how this scope of work would look like in relation to current conditions of the site. The record fee owner is the state of Hawaii, and the project site is classified under the Urban State Land Use District. Additionally, zoning includes major park and open space, classified as P2 General Preservation under the City and County of Honolulu jurisdiction by Executive Order number 22. Additionally, access to the project site is accessed via Pake Avenue and Noella Street as well. And the proposed project, a little bit of background, consists of two specific parts, with the first one being the demolition of the dilapidated and termite damaged office building, which is currently occupied by the Division of Forestry, Department of Parks and Recreation. Additionally, the second part of this proposed project consists of the development of a new administration building that will replace the current Kapulani Nursery building, which will include a reception area, clerical work areas, workstations for staff, locker rooms with lockers, restrooms with showers, a classroom, staff room, storage, outdoor patio, electrical room, and various other storage units. So this is a general site plan as well that RMA had provided for us, just seeing the overall scope of work for how the new Kapulani Nursery building would be incorporated into the existing site, and additionally further highlighting the existing uses of the adjoining parcels next to the project site. Additionally, this is a more zoomed in version, just to give you a better idea of how that would look. And then finally, we also wanted to note the previous work. An existing Chapter 3.3 Hawaii Revised Statutes HRS assessment exists as finding of no significant impact, also known as FONSI, was published on May 24th, 2025, that evaluated traffic and access, as well as noise and air quality, cultural and historical resources, coastal shoreline conditions, and finding no significant long-term adverse environmental effects to the project area. Additionally, standard mitigation measures in the form of best management practices are proposed to ensure environmental compliance here. And just wanted to say mahalo for your time, and we're happy to answer any questions the board may have at this time. And also we have RMA here as well if you have more specific questions on the actual design plans. Thank you.
Chair,
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Ms. Metzen.
are you taking questions? Thank you so much for your presentation. I did look over what was posted on the website. I am familiar with the previous proposal and the flack it met from a nonprofit group. This looks very promising. It opens up it's basically a historic view plane running along Pocky Avenue with historic landscaping. The one question I have is the height of the building, which is being relocated in a much better location. Is that single story or 2 stories?
Yeah, I could, if RMA could confirm that.
Hi, this is Kylan at RMA. So it's a single story building, and at the ridge of the roof, the highest point is about 21 feet, but that's actually in the site kind of slopes down, so it's like maybe between 13 and 18 feet, or 21 feet, sorry, depending on where you take it, the height. But
Well, that's fine. It's under the height, Diamond Head Special District height limit. Secondly, I did send in comments for the EA requesting landscape screening with trees along the back of the urban forestry lot to screen off the monster house that has been built there, that is right in the middle of this landscape view plane. If that were screened off by a tall, non-invasive trees to frame the urban forestry complex with the open space now in the middle of the complex and the building off to the side, it would be much more compatible with the park. And I would like to know if there has been any work toward that end. And that's about it. I support this project.
Thank you, Michelle. And Laura, Ruby, do you have your hand up, or is it just?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to know, first of all, is it slab construction or is it post and pier? And did you have archaeological excavation to find out if it's in loam area, which could be subject to EV excavation? I know it says you passed the EIS, so I think that must have happened, but I didn't see it in your presentation.
right now we're using shallow footings, and there'll be some slight excavation to use structural fill for that. But the building is planned right now to be modular as well to help speed up construction. But it's supposed to be kind of lightly touching the earth in terms of structural.
And I'm guessing you did do some archaeological surveys there if you had a Fonzie.
Yeah, that's usually the typical process for that.
Okay. And I had a question as well, just to follow up on what Ms. Matson had to say was the plan showed a sort of a circle around the tree there. I thought that was a mango tree, but the rendering looked different. And I'm just wondering, is that tree, which is a big, I think it's a healthy tree, but I haven't had heard to the contrary, but the landscaping, I'd like to see the landscaping plan if you can send that to me, because I agree that it should be screened off from the houses, as well as I'm sure this will be the very best practices, since this is the nursery for the park, that as far as trees and having some good shade trees in there for the areas that are not just that be planned for at this time, and perhaps looking at using some permeable pavement or something else that will allow that's just more eco-friendly. And maybe if those could be emailed to me, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for our friends? Yes.
Yes.
Ms.
I
Knight.
have a question. Thank you for your presentation. Do you have a timeline of when construction starts and how long you think it'll go, and then a projected completion date?
Right now, we only have an estimate. We believe that maybe construction might start in fall of 2027 or so, and we believe it'll probably take about 12 months, but that's just our current projection. It's not set in stone yet.
Okay, and then when it is, if you'd come back and let us know, that would be great.
Okay.
Okay, and with that, we appreciate you coming and giving us an update on that. And with that, we will turn over to our friends of the Oahu Pickleball Association regarding the upcoming resurfacing of the Diamond Head tennis court and a request for a dedicated permanent allocation on the courts 8 and 9 for pickleball. We have Darren Graves and Donna Ching. So, yes, sir. Welcome.
Hey, thank you. My name is Darren Graves. I'm a pickleball player, but I am represented with a coalition. It's a community vision, looking at what we're going to be doing in the future with the resurfacing project that we've been told is in line for the Diamond Head courts. So I do have slides here. I think currently the city is already planning these, and I think that it's a once in a decade opportunity to take a look at the design at this particular point before anything is made. And we're not asking for new land. We're not asking for a different footprint. We're just asking for court 8 and 9 to be considered for a new design. So the next slide. This is currently the Diamond Head court 8 and 9. There's a total 10 courts at Diamond Head. These 2 courts have been used for pickleball exclusively. We don't see too many people using it for tennis. I don't think we've seen a couple of years anybody that's been using it. These courts are, the Diamond Head Center was built in 1972, so it's 54 years old. And the status has been exactly the same all these years. So we do have, daily counts recorded as far as like how busy they are, how many people, use it for pickleball. It does get quite crowded on Saturdays, Sundays, which is, most frequently. So the next slide. So imagine the possibilities here. So this is a rendering showing that it can be accomplished within the existing footprint. 8 dedicated pickleball courts, permanent nets, spectator viewing created a welcoming destination without expanding the facility. A lot of tennis centers across the country have gone with this particular design, where you have 2 tennis courts, you can get 8 pickleball courts on there. I did create this rendering. I did put a pergola on each side. As you know, shade, Diamond Head is well needed when you're playing a game. And my coalition and I, we talked about, we could participate in, donating money, actually, helping to build the shading area, because we do want to beautify it. So this would be a great destination that we do see tourists as well as community people utilize. Next slide. So the better return on the city's investment. So because we're going from 4 pickleball courts that are currently taped or painted on there, we're going to 8. So this allows, right now we have 16 total players that could play at any given time. This would increase to 32, which would help with the volume of people that do go there. And currently we have temporary nets that we pull out in the morning and we put away every day. Those nets get pretty beat up. And right now, if you're a spectator and you wanted to watch, you have to go inside the court to actually be able to see people play a game. And we wanted to create a spectator area that's going to be outside the courts. The next slide. So here's some statistics regarding pickleball versus tennis nationally and locally. Pickleball participation is growing rapidly. Hawaii hosts more pickleball tournaments, larger events, and a broader range of participants. So we're seeing, 60, 70, 80-year-old people playing pickleball. You don't necessarily see that as much with tennis. And then you can see the number. This is 2026 tournaments. We have 31 scheduled in the state of Hawaii versus tennis. There's 13. And our largest pickleball tournament, it handled 811 participants compared to 96. So next slide. Why Diamond Head? Well, Diamond Head tennis courts are in a unique situation because we're at Kapolani Park and it's a tourism area as well as a community. If you go to other neighborhoods where there's pickleball courts that's sharing with tennis, it's generally the community that's using it right there. This is actually kind of unique because we do play with a lot of tourists that do come through. They are bringing their paddles with them when they come to Hawaii and they are looking for a place to play. And upgrading the surface that's currently there would just be fantastic. So I think this is really the right location and the right time to maximize the city's investment and really make this a premier public place for pickleball. The next slide. So this proposal is supported by leaders from multiple pickleball organizations, community groups. Our coalition represents local players like myself, Friends of Diamond Head Tennis, USA Pickleball, Oahu Pickleball Association, and we do also have international pickleball representatives that represent the Japan Federation of Pickleball. And our coalition does want to be a partner with you and get community input and get input from you. We are prepared to volunteer, help organize events, pursue sponsorship, support beautification project at Diamond Head, and really work with the parks and the recs, making this a facility that's long-term. So our shared vision, as you can see at the bottom of the slide, is maximize the city's investment, expand the recreation opportunities, and support the visitors as well as our residents. And with a facility like this, you could even possibly have very small regional tournaments as well. There are pickleball leagues that participate at this facility on the weekends, and it's limited to the number of teams right now. And there are other teams that do want to come in, but there's only so much room that we could do this. Next slide. So, our request is we're asking the neighborhood board to support the continued evaluation of 8-court concept, encourage the collaboration with Parks and Recs and Councilman Tommy Waters. As he mentioned, he's going to meet with Laura Thielen. And we would love to have your support going into that process. And wanted to see if you guys would support this particular concept at this time. And that concludes my presentation.
Question.
Thank you very much. Some questions for Aaron. Ms. Manson, you have a question?
Yes, I'd like to know how you might propose masking the huge noise that emits from pickleball and pickleball players. We hear the noise from the existing courts. Now you're saying it's going to increase from 8 players to 32 players?
16 to 32.
16. 32 players in that area?
Mhm.
Right near the residences.
Right.
Yeah, right below.
Well,
That's not going to be very popular. There are going to be a lot of complaints.
do you get complaints now?
There are people complaining, yes, in the surrounding homes.
Okay.
Because, let me explain, there's yelling, a lot of yelling, a lot of noise from the paddles, and tennis isn't like that. Tennis was never a problem. And what do the tennis players have to say? You may be using it now, but did you take that from the tennis players? Or was there no tennis there?
So, from my experience, I was a tennis player. I used the tennis courts there often. And then when COVID hit, we saw a drastic change. And I've seen a significant decrease of tennis players at Diamond Head. I used to have to wait for an hour to get a court at Diamond Head. But the courts are readily available. So like there's total 10 courts. So 8 of them are still dedicated to tennis. And generally there are open courts, even on the weekends.
No tennis players are waiting for their court time.
I have John with me, who's the Friends of Diamond Head. He's been there for 20, 25 years. If you want to comment on that. He's part of our coalition here.
I'm sorry, Friends of Diamond Head, is it?
Yeah.
That's John Beltry. I'm the president of Friends of Diamond Head Tennis.
Oh, the tennis, okay.
I've been active down there for the last 25, 30 years playing tennis. And I've, back in 2009, the courts were in terrible condition as they are today. And so a group of us got together. We started a 501(c) corporation to raise money to give to the city to help repave the courts. And 2010, we gave the city $60,000 to repair the courts. And then we stayed together ever since then. And we have spent hundreds of hours, volunteer hours, maintaining the facilities down there because honestly, the city does not do a very good job. And the more you do for the city, the more you get to do. So it's been on us. But as my aging group of helpers and everything, things have changed a lot. I've seen the growth of tennis back in the 70s, and I've seen the growth of a pickleball. And what I used to do is anytime we had a change of administration, a new director of parks, I'd invite them down to Diamond Head, give them the grand tour and say, this is what we do. This is how we've been working with the city. We'd like to continue working with the city. And this is what we do. And so we've had good cooperation from the city on this all along. It's kind of sad to see because I really love tennis, but tennis has really dropped off tremendously. It's unbelievable. And back in 2014, when Michelle Nakota was the new director, I had her down there. I had a list of about 15 items. And we're sitting at the picnic table and she's reading my list upside down. And she goes down the list and she says, pickleball. She asked, what do you know about pickleball? I said, I don't know anything about it, except it's the fastest growing sport in the country, which is true. And ever since it's really taken off. And we really hear on Oahu, we don't really have enough facilities. And the city is doing the best they can to try to catch up on these facilities. That's how popular it is. And right now, I've picked court 8 and 9 for pickleball several years ago. And right now it's exclusively used for pickleball because we do not have the tennis participation like we used to have. And so it's worked out really well with the tennis players. You know, they've accepted that. And we continue to help maintain and so forth with the facilities down there. So all we're saying now is that they're in the process to resurface the courts island-wide, Diamond Head included. So the city right now, actually, they're using Diamond Head as their example of pickleball. Okay, Brett Fisher, our Kapahulu-St Park manager, maybe many of you guys know him. He promotes Diamond Head, for pickleball because what we've accomplished there. And so all we're saying is, yes, please come in and do the services for everybody. And since we do have court 8 and 9 for pickleball, let's maximize the space, get the most, because we have on Sundays, Saturdays, Sundays, sometimes we'll have 60, 70 people waiting to play pickleball.
Do you have pickleball courts on the other side of the park?
No, this is, as you first go into the parking lot on the right-hand side, there's 2 tennis courts. It's separated from the tennis.
Yes.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the park on Kalakaua, are there pickleball courts over there? Maybe I should be asking the presenter.
Where the aquarium is, there's a group of people who want to put in a parking lot. So the city went ahead and they lined 2 pickleball courts over there. All right. The problem with that facility, there's sand. You can't play. You'll slip and slide. It's too dangerous to play. But they're there. There's 2 courts. I don't see anybody ever playing there, but they're there. They're there. There's 2 of them there.
And we're getting a little sparse on time. I want to make sure there's a couple other
Can I
people.
make a
Andy,
comment?
if you want to have a question.
Can I make a comment?
I just had a quick question. I wanted to know where in the timeline we are right now. Because I know you guys are getting community support. Is that you're getting community support to then go to DPR? Or are you already in talks with DPR for this initiative?
I got an email.
Well,
Can you use the mic?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Brett works for the Parks Department that oversees that facility. He did say that it's in queue to be resurfaced. He's waiting for a master agreement. He doesn't know exactly when the master agreement is, but he was hoping to get this resurfacing done in late 2026, early 2027.
Can I make a comment?
And so it seems like you're asking for 2 nights of the courts to be converted over at this, or they're already there. Okay, so just to be resurfaced to allow more players in the existing area.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Okay, and with that, I know we are running out of time, so I just want to know, would you, if for people that are interested in going down there, you could offer a tour of the facilities? Is there a way that we could get into contact with you if we wanted to do something like that as individual board members?
Sure.
Okay, and I think we have your contact information. I see you, Kendrick, but we actually are out of time, and we'll just.
I think the Parks and Rec committee wants to add this to the agenda because there's a lot of issues.
Okay, so
Noise and other locations, I'd kind of like to.
So we can have a Parks Committee meeting on this one then, is what you're saying, Arlene? Okay, so we'll call a Parks Committee meeting, and maybe we could even have it meeting down there at the ground, so people could actually take a tour right there, or as close as we can get. Maybe it'll be at Pakihale or something like that.
Okay.
So we really appreciate you coming tonight and giving this information and giving us a look at what we can help best utilize this area. With that, though, we are going to be out of time. I'm sorry again that we did not get to the pig, but I encourage all the board members to look at that about the marketing materials, as Michelle said, for the neighborhood board. We'll cover that next time. But otherwise, we got through almost everything we needed to. We appreciate the folks that came by from the Pickleball Association as well as the parks. And
Farewell.
yes,
I
ma'am.
just want to mention, as I said before, this permitted interaction group needs to be converted to a special committee, subcommittee. Yes.
For the the marketing materials.
Yes.
Okay. We can pick that up the next time, and I'll put that as the board agenda item.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. And with that, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your month. Happy Bastille Day coming up, and your ballots are coming, so vote. Anyway, with that, I will call meeting adjourned. Aloha.